Zaid Jilani of The Intercept is reporting on quite a test for Donald Trump here in his commitment to saving jobs and curtailing outsourcing. So he explains, just a few miles away from the Carrier plant in Indianapolis, where President-elect Donald Trump celebrated his role in stopping 730 jobs from moving to Mexico earlier this month, another corporation is shutting its factory and moving it to Mexico. The move, which will send nearly 300 jobs south of the border, comes in direct defiance of Trump, who tweeted against it on December 2nd. So here's what Trump said. Rexnord of Indiana is moving to Mexico and rather viciously firing all of its 300 workers. This is happening all over our country. No more. So he continues here and says, but after the tweet, this is Zaid Jilani, not a peep. Rexnord Corporation first announced it in October that it would close the plant, which produces industrial mechanical goods such as bearings. Local news outlets reported that the company was looking to save $15 million annually by relocating, although the company was hardly hurting. It generated $24.6 million in profit during its fiscal second quarter, up from $22.6 million a year earlier. In fact, not only is Rexnord moving the jobs to Mexico and the plant scheduled to close by June, but as part of a severance package announced on Friday, current employees would be required to train the Mexican workers who will replace them. So, The Intercept got in contact with the union representatives who work with this company and who are part of this company, and apparently Donald Trump, this is an issue where Donald Trump, he barked a little bit on Twitter, but he did not actually make an effort in the sense of reaching out to this company to attempt to stop it. Now, look, I spoke about the Carrier deal, and my opinion on it was far more nuanced than other liberal commentators. My argument was, hey, he did say on the campaign trail repeatedly, I'm going to keep those jobs here, I'm going to keep those jobs here, I'm going to keep those jobs here. And to an extent, he followed through. Now, he lied all the way through it because at first he said it's going to be like over 1,000 jobs that stay here. Then that number became 800. Now it's down to about 700. I think Zaid Jilani says 730 here. So he lied every step of the way. And the way that he got those jobs to stay here is the wrong way to do it. He just gave them favoritism out the wazoo. He gave them corporate welfare. Hey, here's $7 million. Hey, here's a special tax break. Hey, let me deregulate your entire goddamn industry. So he basically did all the wrong things to get them to stay here. But at the end of the day, you got to factor all that into consideration and realize that he's still coming through on a campaign promise. He never said, I'm going to, make them stay here and not deregulate. In fact, he's been a champion of deregulation the entire campaign. But this is why I argued, if you were going to do this, you had to do it the right way, or you incentivize all these other companies to hold the U.S. government hostage. This is what Bernie Sanders spoke about too, and he was 100% right. Because now what you've done is you've sent a message to all other companies that are considering outsourcing. Hey, if I make some noise about it, and if I'm, really aggressive about it, then worst case scenario, I do outsource my jobs and pay less for labor and screw over American workers, but pad my bottom line and make more profit. Or the government rushes in and they give me these sweetheart deals and screw the American taxpayer that way. So it's a lose-lose for the taxpayers and the American people. So how would I go about it? If I was president and, you make a deal for Carrier to stay here, well, the way you do it is for all these other companies, you make clear and, you do it the right way with Carrier to set that example. You say, here's the deal. You're going to keep your jobs here and you're going to keep them here because it is punitive if you send them either to Mexico or wherever, Bangladesh, Turkey, China. If you send them overseas, it will be punitive. So in other words, you ship those jobs out, and then when you try to ship them back and ship the goods back into the country, well, I'm just going to tax your goods. I'm going to do a tariff, and I'm going to make it so that the cost of that good is now more than to you. It costs more to you to make it overseas than it would be to make it here. So you see what that incentivizes? It incentivizes Okay, no, it is the irrational thing to do, even from a profit perspective, because that's all these corporations care about. But even from a profit perspective, it's the rational thing to do to keep the jobs here because you're actually saving more money and making more profit if you build it here. That's how you got to do it. If you don't do it that way and you basically just give sweetheart deals, well, then they're either going to all outsource their jobs or they're going to force you to give them sweetheart deals to keep the jobs here. So, and that's corporate welfare, and that's horrific. So you got to do it that way, but he didn't do it that way. And again, now we're seeing the consequences of that. You have these other corporations like, yeah, I'm going to leave. And I guess Trump didn't talk to them, but if he did talk to them, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to say, please keep him here? No. What are you going to do for me? I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to give you a fucking sweetheart deal to keep it here, and which screws over the taxpayers either way. So you had to go about it the right way, and he did not go about it the right way. And what happened with Carrier, it appears like, based on this story, it's more of a symbolic thing. It was more of a good PR thing, where now he can turn around to people and say, see, I care about workers. But then 9,316 other factories can ship their jobs overseas, and he's standing there like, I don't know, want me to do something about it? I have no idea what the fuck to do, other than just give them sweetheart deals, which would fuck over the people even more. So you have to, this is why I say I'm significantly more protectionist than, seemingly anybody in the Democratic Party and Republican Party, but then again, Bernie Sanders is probably on par roughly where I am. You make companies know, you let them know it's more profitable for you to make the goods here in the United States of America, and you're going to pay a living wage in the process. That's the rules of the game. That's the way it should be. We're not going to have trade policies anymore that screw over the worker and are protectionist for the owner class, because that's what we have right now.